Hi all, welcome to the Marquee Matchups for the 7th of November. Plenty to cover as always. All the information is down in the description below as always for the likelihoods if you struggle with the accent. So you can smash links as always would be much appreciated. Sub to the channel if you're new. Follow me on Twitter at GSLegend. All links are down below for posting channel and social media links as always. And smash that notification bell so you know when uploads are up on the channel. Would be massively appreciated. We scored 3 out of 4 this week. We didn't get the Lens Lorient one, but we did kind of mention it in the description. We didn't obviously can't feature every single squad, but we try and feature everything within the description at least. So the first option is Liverpool Man City and Wolves Aston Villa, 2 Premiership derbies in regards to basically first and second for Liverpool Man City. They're like the current champions, with Liverpool trying to dethrone them, and Liverpool Aston Villa is a Midlands derby. One of them is going to happen. Which one? I'm not 100% sure. Wolves and Aston Villa is the first time in the Premier League for a few years, but Liverpool Man City we would assume could happen solely because there has been, both teams are fighting for the league, and this also could be like a championship decider early in the season. If Liverpool were to win, they would go 9 points clear. In terms of players, you could look from a Liverpool view like Lallana, Origi. Man City, you would look at Foden, Bravo. Wolves, for example, and Aston Villa, you'd look like McGinn, Jota, Cutrone, and Grealish. So for France, we have Nantes and Etienne and Marseille, Lyon. Nantes and Etienne is the one I'm going for. Because it's a historic derby within the league. If you know your French history, it's one of the biggest derbies in France. I would say from a Nantes view, you can look at like Paloy, Lafont. They're kind of good, sensible options. Then from a St Etienne view is like Bouanga, Boudebouz, Debuchy, Kolojizak. And then from a Marseille Lyon view, you could look at like Traoré, Cornet, Sakai, Maxim Lopez, Strootman, Mandanda, Dembele, and you'd be kind of well and truly sorted both ways. In all honesty, you wouldn't be stressed about it, but I feel Nantes and Etienne is the one I'm going for, and because when there's 2 games within one league, you usually do feel one will happen. It's a case of which game will they go for and take it from there. Italy is an interesting one. Juventus, AC Milan, big rivalry in the league, and oddly enough, we have still yet to have Juventus feature in our Marquee Matchups. Obviously they had the strong start part of the SBC, but we've not actually had Juventus properly feature within a Marquee Matchups to say Piemonte Calcio. Obviously from a Juventus view, it's like Bentancur, De Siglio, Emre Can. There's a few options. You're not really going to look at like Perrin, Rugani, even though like Rugani's cheap, but you don't necessarily really want to include him because he's 82 rated, and it's not usually going to be that higher rated. AC Milan, it's like Conte, Calabria, Rafael Leo. They'd be your kind of sensible options. Kalinoglu, another one. Kessie. Generally Juventus is where you would work from in terms of the goals, and Milan is where you would at least supplement, as it were. So you'd be quite sensible with your options and you'd take it from there. Germany, Bayern versus Dortmund, the Klassiker. We're going to assume very, very strongly this is going to happen, and I feel the same way. 7 good strong 7s, that's the way we do it. We don't say 8s or 9s or 10s, because if you go anything above a 7, I feel then you're being too confident. Bayern, you're looking at Pavard, Ulreich as your 2 common goals that you will go for. From a Dortmund view, it's like Zagadou, Piszczek, not really Hakimi obviously, but Dahoud, Weigl, Larsson, Hitz. So you're well and truly sorted from a Dortmund view. If the money is going to be made, it will be from a Bayern perspective. As I said, Ulreich and Pavard are going to be the most common. Like I've got Tolisso, Javi Martinez, I think Peris. I've got like I think Perisic in the club as well. So it's like I've got decent Bayern players, but you don't really want to look at like Arp, for example, like Silvers, Arp, Cousins, or Alphonso Davis. But Bayern I quite fancy heavily. As always, we just like to build the league around it. La Liga has a couple of good strong options as well, with Real Betis versus Sevilla, and then you would just kind of keep yourself prepared from there. And I would hope that the league would just Liga always seems to happen like every other week just now, so it's one of these ones where as long as you're prepared for like Betis and Sevilla, then like, because Sevilla's doing well but Betis are doing terrible, so like when it's a region derby and one team's doing better in the region, you sometimes do find that they do like to throw it in, and like even though the Liga constantly has been featuring a lot lately, be prepared for it. Like Betis, you'd look at like Sydney, and Sevilla is like Regulon, get there in the end. With EFL, you've got a lot of different games within the league. You've got Nottingham Forest, Derby County, Millwall, Charlton, Cardiff and Bristol City just for the championship alone. So one of those games may easily drop within the league. Like in the like EFL usually might have like say 2 or 3 games in the championship, maybe 2 games in League 1, and then maybe 2 games in the League 2. But all the games this week of interest, as I said, are in the championship. From a small perspective, I feel they would go Nottingham Forest, Derby County. That would be where I'd go a 6. That's my wild card. I feel that it's the type of game where they could easily go for. Nottingham Forest has plenty of goals like Alpha Semedo, Joe Lawley. Derby County has like Ben Pearson, Millwall, and Charlton. You can like look at Lyle Taylor. Cardiff is like Bamba, Etheridge. Bristol City is like Callas, Vyman. So you'd be Millwall's like Shane Ferguson. So you find yourself not exactly short of like options. It's just more a case of how do you kind of like build it. It's like, because they're not going to make it a full like AFL squad, but they might make it 2 or 3 like EFL players. Portugal, big couple games in Portugal this week of Vitória Guimarães versus Braga and Boavista versus Porto. We've not had Liga NOS yet, and Boavista Porto is quite a historic derby within the league. Porto top of the league at the moment, Boavista in like the European spots. From a Porto view, you're going to look at like Marchesin, Diaz, Carona, Abubakar, Marega. Then from like a Braga view, you've got tons to work with, like Claude Mir, Raul, Sequeira. Vitória Guimarães, your most common player will be Andre. So you're not really short of options, and Sacco for a rare right back, actually very useful if they were to do it. Wilson Eduardo is also quite handy for nation reasons, but I feel this is like a 6 out of 10. I don't 100% feel convinced by it, but because of, as I said, as there's 2 games in Portugal that stand out, one of them could easily happen over like say France, Spain, Germany or Italy. They could easily just take that option out. And then the last main set of games that we're going to focus, the last main game we're going to focus on is Kaizer Chiefs versus Orlando Pirates. This is like one of the few times that the South African League gets its mention, and it's one to keep yourself well and truly prepared for. This is where the real hype would kick in, because you've only got 2 teams to work with, and people will just pretty much just buy the whole league, the 2 teams, and then it's just a case of we'll sell come Wednesday and Thursday when hopefully prices are up and it's worth kind of getting crazy. It's a good time to make some good money if folk just jump on it. But Kaizer Chiefs, Orlando Pirates, strong 6 as well, could easily be the small option of the week, so be prepared for it. But I would imagine we just maybe like 1 player from the league, or maybe even 1 South African player, just to kind of mix it up and change it up. In terms of other games that they could go for this week is Midtjylland versus Copenhagen, which is 1st and 2nd in Denmark. Liga Warsaw, Gornik Zabrze and Wisla Krakow, Arka Gdynia. Then you've also got Shakhtar, Donetsk and Dynamo Kyiv, Panathinaikos, AEK Athens. You've got some EFL trophy derbies as well to kind of focus on. FC Twente versus PEC Zwolle, and that is about you for the week. So hopefully you find everything useful in terms of the marquee matchups. For me personally, the 4 that I'm going for is Bayern Dortmund, then Nantes and Etienne, Liverpool Manchester City, and then finishing off with lost my trail of thought there. Nottingham Forest, Derby County, sorry, and then wildcard shout maybe of like Boavista Porto. I would kind of linger towards, But we get there in the end, folks. As I said, all the information is down in the description below, as always, with the likelihoods and so forth. Smash the like as always, sub to the channel for new, follow me on Twitter, GTheLegend, comment down below what games you fancy for next week, and I will catch you all later for more FIFA 20 content.